Hi, my name is Chitra Palekar. I live in Bombay, that's in India, and I work there too. And my film is in Marathi, that's the language of our state Maharashtra. And the name in Marathi is MAATI Mai, but the English title is A Gravekeeper's Tale.
So can you tell us what your film is about?
Yeah, my film is about a young woman from a lower caste, or as we call it, a scheduled caste, and her job is to look after a children's graveyard. It's an ancestral job and basically done by men, you know. But since there's no male in the family, the job has come to her after her father has died. Now she does it with great pride because they take a lot of pride. They call it God's duty, you know, dealing with death. At the same time, when she has a small child, she doesn't want to do that job anymore because other children's deaths, they start affecting her. And she's breastfeeding her child, and then when she's doing the funeral rites, there's always, she's lactating and the milk overflows. Now, the villagers, they don't want her to leave the job because it's considered a very lowly job and no one else would do it. And so they force her. At the same time, when they see that her chest is wet, the breasts are wet, then they say that she's feeding dead children. And because of their superstitions and all this ignorance about a woman's state, they call her a ghoul, a sort of a witch, a woman who feeds dead children, and then they banish her from the village. And well, I'm not going to say more about it.
So would you say that there's a bit of a conflict that the film in some way, the themes of the film is kind of the struggle between traditional superstitious beliefs and a more maybe modern view?
Yes. See, this film has many layers. Okay. On one hand, it talks about the insensitivity of the society, the community, as well as her own husband who really loves her, but he doesn't understand her dilemmas at all. You know, when she says, I want to leave the job, he says, oh, but that's your ancestral job. Won't the gods be unhappy, or the ancestors will be very angry? So you can't leave the job. Now, so that's how she's not allowed to follow the dictates of her own conscience or mind or emotions. So that's, on one hand. And on the other hand, it also talks about in the film, there's a lot about this caste politics. How the upper caste and lower castes, how they behave with each other. And then the women, especially of the lower caste, are the lowest of the low, you see, in this patriarchal thing. So that's it. But at the same time, it's a son who goes to school and who is now being more rational. He's the one who ultimately defies the system and gives his mother the due,
So let's talk about some of the challenges of making a film like this. What would you say was the biggest challenge of bringing this story?
The very first challenge was to find finance, because this is a very different type of a story, and it's a rural story, and it's not escapist. It belongs to the sort of cinema what we call alternate cinema. And so the people with money want to put in their money into escapist or only pure entertainment thing, that sort of thing. And so for me it was a bit difficult, and then finally I decided to finance it myself with all my savings, because I just wanted to make this film.
And did you have a mix of professional actors and non-professionals?
Yes. My lead actors, Nandita Das and Atul Kulkarni, They both are quite famous now, and they work in mainstream as well as alternate cinema. And Nandita is even known internationally through her works with Deepa Mehta and all these people, to Fire and Earth and all that. So both of them read the script and immediately agreed to do the film, and that was nice. And the funny thing is that Nandita is not even a Maharashtrian. That means she doesn't know Marathi. So, but we both decided that we'll work on the language factor, and so ultimately she managed to do a very good job. And at the same time, for both authenticity as well as budget constraints, I decided that I will take all the local theatre actors and also the villagers. So I have, except these two, the rest in the cast are all from theatre groups. You know, Maharashtra is very much full of theatre performers. So all the local groups, I chose them, I screen tested and chose them, and the rest I also use people from the village itself.
So my last question is, since every film is a kind of journey, I'm just wondering, for you, from the start of your journey to the end of the journey, what were some of the things that you personally learned that have changed your point of view on the world, or perhaps the outlook of filmmaking?
Okay, I have done a lot of things in the film domain, like I've written, I've produced, I've even acted once. And usually I've written scripts and done the production design too, but this is my first directorial. So that also meant taking full and complete responsibility, then leading the entire unit. And though I knew everybody on the crew for maybe 25 years, but even then, leading the whole unit myself was a big challenge for me. And I think what I learned was to face crisis without, crying and bravely, and always focusing only on the result, and without, to achieve it without any compromises. So, I mean, it's all, one always says this in theory, but to be able to do it every moment was a very exciting thing for me. And I just feel that my journey has just begun. When I completed this film, I just felt that instead of completing something, my life has just started again.